Welcome back, everyone. The second part of Sound K has started. Stay with me for another hour and learn about everything that's happening in the Korean rock music industry through our new corner titled Rockin' ROK. And ROK actually stands for Rock of Korea. And we have two special guests who will be joining me very, very soon for this new corner. Just say hi to them by leaving messages on our message board. And let's start part 2 of Sound K with a song by Yojo from 넝쿨째 굴러온 당신 drama OST, or My Husband's Got a Family, I think the title is. And it is her song called 빈 하늘 바라보며 Look Up at the Empty Sky. 빈 하늘 바라보며 Rockin' ROK. There are many legendary rock groups in Korea, and more people are showing a lot of interest in this genre. Let's say there's one rock song which you really liked, but you're not sure of who or which group sung it. Then this corner on Sound K is right up your alley. We have two musicians in the studio with me. We have Yeom Seung-shik, who is a guitarist of the rock group GateFlowers, and we also have Chang, who has been a musician as well for a long, long time and is now active as a music producer. So let's welcome these two into our studio. Hello, Yeom and Jake.
Hello.
Hi, what's up? This is Jake.
Hello.
This is Yeom Guitar.
Hello. Should I just call you Yeom? Is that okay? Or should I call you something else?
I would like to be called as Yeom Guitar.
Yeom Guitar.
Since I'm a guitarist.
But you have a name already. Why does guitar come in there?
I don't know. But since GateFlowers was starting to be known to people, they just call me Yeom Guitar. I have a name, but
exactly.
That's what everybody calls me, so I'll just go for it.
So it's like a nickname.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, I have heard Yeom Guitar for a while now, and I'm thinking, okay, that cannot be his name.
No, it's not mine. Yeah, my parents wouldn't name me
Call
as
you
guitar.
guitar.
Yeah. You're gonna be a guitarist. Yeah, that's not fair.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll try my son with
Yeah.
Young Guitar Junior.
Do you have a son?
Not yet. I don't have a girlfriend, so.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I've been getting these random questions lately. I'd ask, "Are you dating someone?" And they'd be like, "I have 2 children." So,
No.
yeah.
We recently broke up. So.
Oh, that's sad. And hello, Jake. And you're
Hi.
married.
Yes, I'm happily married.
That's right. Any children of yours?
No, I don't have any kids.
Oh, not yet?
Not yet.
I see. A lot of married people around me these days. And so we are talking about Rockin' ROK today. It is the first time we have come together. So it will be also a time that we can, adjust to each other, I actually personally like to ask very, very personal, abrupt questions every now and then. Hope you won't get stunned by those.
Sure.
Sounds cool.
And Jay's like, no problem. So tell me who we're talking about today.
We're gonna talk about first. Well, this is our first introduction to Korean rock music. We've chosen 2 legendary rock bands. A band
Right.
in Korea. Shinawi and Dilgukwa.
I have definitely heard those names before, and I'm sure many people who like K-rock has heard of them before as well. But we do need some background information on them first.
Yes, sure. Jake, do you wanna add something?
Sure. Dilgukwa, Shinawi, they both came out back in the 80s. I believe Dilgukwa released their first album 85, and Shinawi released their first album back in 86. So pretty much at the same time.
Wow.
It came out.
So would it be correct for me to say they were sort of rivals because they came around the same time?
It's orange and apple. Two bands of rock bands, Dilgukwa and Shinawi. It's brief introduction of Dilgukwa is all the band members grew up with back in 60s, 70s music, American music. So their music's more like bluesy, folk, pop music. But Shinawi is a straight up, high gained, driving guitar, in your face rock music.
So very different.
Very different, but they have the same attitude. It's freedom, young, kind of like that. Yeah, 70s and 80s, a lot of young people getting through some political frustrations, and then those two bands offered some kind of freedom, some kind of
right.
exit for the younger generation. So that's a common thing between those two
So
bands.
basically, when we see rock bands even from the United States, I guess, they
Sure.
have that sense of freedom that, teenagers usually, or like
Sure.
students. They really like them because they give them energy. So it's pretty much the same thing with Turgoka and Shinawi in Korea.
Sure. Another thing, they both band long hairs,
Oh.
Very long hairs.
very, very long.
And Dugoka Shinawi, they're very different. Well, they're actually, well, if I start with Shinawi, Shinawi was officially playing heavy metal or hard rock music at that very moment. Like there were bands, like heavy rock bands back then, but all the critics and listeners, we call Shinawi as a first official band to play heavy metal.
Oh,
And Durgukwa,
right.
and Durgukwa, they were recently ranked as the greatest 100 albums of all time. They ranked the first place.
Oh, wow.
Their first debut album ranked the first place. And the interesting thing about Durgukwa is they formed the band for a long time before they released their first debut album. And they were sort of like the most legendary indie rock band at that time. They were so popular that they had no choice but to release their album because they had so many fans and guests before they even released the album.
Oh, I see.
And that's the really important thing about Daeguka. So they were pretty much first underground indie rock band.
Right,
of
right.
Korea.
Like we would see rock bands being formed today. Right? They have so many fans before they debut, like on TV, on
Exactly.
broadcasting. What about Shinawi?
Shinawi is a little different because the leader and the guitarist of the band, Shin Dae-chul, he's the son of, I think most of Korean people know, Shin Jung-yeon, who is the
Guitar god.
the guitar god of Korea. So he's the elder son of Shin Jung-yeon, and he actually, when he released the album, he already got a lot of attention from people who liked Korean music. And Shin Jung-yeon is not only was he the guitar god, but he also was like the Isuman of the older days, rock in older days. He had so many great musicians that he produced. Shin Jung-yeon.
I see, I see.
So he was already a big name in Korea, and Shin Dae-chul, the leader of Shinawi, was the leader of the Shinawi. So when he released the album, when he first debuted, he already got a lot of attention from a lot of people. So Dugoka and Shinawi is a little different at that in that point of view.
All right, so we have actually touched on the genres they play, a little bit of background information when they debuted. Could you tell us about the members of these groups?
Shinawi first. Of course, the legend Shin Dae-chul. The first album actually, Shin Dae-chul and Im Jae-bum. He was pretty famous singer nowadays also, but 나는 가수다. From,
I'm a singer.
Yeah, on TV, I'm a singer. Now he's a huge star through that.
Of course.
He was from the first album, Shinawi. And, Seo is from Shinawi also. Kim Jong-seo. And a lot of good musicians from
Wow.
Shinawi. Yeah.
So everyone who is, I guess, a huge star now, they all went through being a member of Shinawi.
So you want to be a star, just join Shinawi.
I see. Then tell me about the members of Turgoka.
Dugoka is formed with a lot of great singer-songwriters. There, Jeon In-kwon, who's the vocalist of
Right.
the band, has written a song called Hangjin, March, which is the song that we're gonna listen pretty soon. And Choi Sang-won, who's a bassist, he's got a long history, a family background of musical family background. And the drummer Ju Chang-kwon is also a great songwriter too. So Durgoka has a great member of songwriters which is a little different from Shinami because Shindaechol writes most of the songs
Oh, I see.
of the band music, but Daegukwa is more like the Beatles of Korea.
Oh, right.
Because Beatles has
Exactly, yes.
like we have George Harrison writes the song and Paul McCartney, John Lennon writes the song all together and they sing the song together.
Yeah.
So Daegukwa has got more of that 70s, 60s folk music, pop music band
Right.
stance. But Shinawi's got more of a there's this leader guy and he's in control of everything musically. And he's leading the band, but Daegukwa is more like really like 70s, 60s, free culture. They collaborating, so they represent that image in Korea.
All right. I am getting the basic information down right now. And I think actually by listening to a song right now, it will help our listeners actually get a more feel of what their song, what their music is really like. Why don't we listen to a song by Daegukwa and Shinawi side by side so our listeners can get a grasp of what their songs are like. So which song should we listen to?
From Shinawi, we're going to listen to Turn Up the Radio, 크게 라디오를 켜, which is the title song of their first debut album.
Okay. And what about Daegukwa?
그것만이 내 세상. That's only my world.
Let's listen to these two songs. The first one is Daegukwa 그것만이 내 세상 and followed by Shinawi's 크게 라디오를 켜고. Daegukwa's 그것만이 내 세상, This is my own world, and Shinawi's 크게 라디오를 켜고, Turn up the radio. And you're listening to our segment, the new segment we have on Sound K called Rockin' are okay. Rock of Korea with Yeom Guitar and Jake in our studio right now, and we're talking about Daegukwa and Shinawi today. And we just had some slight background information on these two bands. Plus, we actually heard that Shinawi was like the rock band and Daegukwa was like the Beatles of Korea. Now I'm going to go on with the question, why were they so popular, so sensational in Korea?
For Daegukwa, I would say there has never been a band like Daegukwa back then.
Right.
The vocal of Jeon In-kwon, as you just heard, has a it's not just a popular voice back then, and it wasn't just conventional voice. He's got a his own style of vocal, which is I don't know. It's like a very
Shouting?
wild, shouting and wild, but it's not just heavy metal vocal. When people listen to it, some people really like it, and some people don't. But
Right.
you keep listening to his voice. His voice is very genuine and very sensitive. So many different styles are the different elements are in the vocal. And now Daegukwa has recently reunited, which is last year, 2012. And still, young people love Daegukwa's music. And I recently went to their concert on last Christmas Eve. I've seen a lot of young people like in their 20s, even younger kids too. And they were all together in the concert place. And the vocal is very unique, but at the same time, Korean people really liked his vocals. Yeah.
I see. But you actually said that some people really like it and some people don't like it, right? Now, as you, Yeom-gita, someone who is doing rock right now, you're part of a rock band, what would you say is the appeal of this?
I would say people are so tired of these days vocal styles. Like, the R&B or really soft vocals. I mean, even if it's a good stuff, if you keep listening to it and you are used to it, you get tired of it.
Right.
But this music and vocal from 30 years ago, it's not something that people are listening to these days. So they think it's really fresh.
Oh,
That's what I
see.
think. And even for young people who are not used to all the different types of music, when they listen to it, I think that's the reason why.
Okay. I actually heard that Daegukwa debuted as a 5-member group.
There were 5 members, yes.
And now there's only 3.
Actually, one of them died. The keyboard player, Ho Sang-ho.
Oh, right.
He died of an accident. I don't know which one. Jake, do you know?
It was one of the greatest keyboard players, first of
I
all.
think so,
And
yes.
then he relocated to United States, and then he joined this Christian group, the Mission Group, and I heard he passed away back in 1997.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't have any more information, but he passed away.
So they began with 5 members, and then they sort of left for a while, and then they came back as 3. Is that right?
That's right.
I see. So what is the appeal with Chinawi then? What made them so popular?
Shinawi is, first of all, I'm still a musician, guitar player, producer, but Shinawi meant a lot to me. Back in mid 80s, I was in middle school. I was the only one hardcore headbanger. I listened to Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motley Crue, those hard rock music. The rest of the classmates, they listened to some dance music.
Right.
Culture Club, Michael Jackson. Yeah, I really didn't like them.
I
Like
see.
straight up rock and roll music. My brother just came back home with one vinyl LP, said Shinawi, heavy metal. I almost cried. So we have a domestic heavy metal band made in Korea. And then we listened to it. Brad and I listened to it, and they're not cheesy or anything like that. They're
So
like so powerful.
You were listening to, Judas Priest and all this, Motley Crue, these guys who've been doing it for ages, and that has been in the, United States society, the culture for a long time.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, this very new, brand new rock group from Korea comes along, and they were just as good?
That was the first band. Shina was the first heavy metal band, but to me, yes. Back in 86, yes. Oh, okay. Especially Japanese band. Back in the 70s, 80s, great rock bands came out. But we didn't have anyone. And we had some rock band, like sugar-coated rock, which means some pop with some distortion guitar in the
Right.
background. And all of a sudden, this band came out. Like Yeom Guitar mentioned, like Dilgukka came out, and they offered young people, people get tired. So this is your energy drink.
I
It's kind of
see.
like that. But, turn off the radio. Listen to the music and just, look closely to the lyric. Pretty much your life is boring, you're tired. Here's the radio, crank it up, and rock out.
I see.
So I love the lyric.
So, because I was a little bit young at the time, could you tell me what the response was like when this song came out?
Unfortunately, back then, most of my classmates, this is totally noise.
Oh, right.
They hated it, but I was really into that music and back then we had a cassette tape. I still miss
Right.
cassette tape and LP, by the way. I made a cassette tape copy, like 20, 30 of them. So gave it to hand it out to my friends.
Oh, right.
At least like 20-30% of my friend, what is this? Sounds like Korean, but sounds like that's the way it is, man. And then I give him some music, and then just told him about a little history of rock and roll, like UK and US. We didn't have anybody, but we have one now, so we need to support it.
Oh, right.
So one of the friend is still hardcore rock and roll fan now.
I see. So they weren't having the best response when they first came out, but they became one of the best rock bands in Korea. How did that happen?
Well, after Shinawi came out, some other band came out also, and they released their album. But they're great bands. Don't get me wrong. Other bands came out and released their album, had a tour and all that back in 80s and 90s. They're great bands in Korea now. But Shinawi is the original.
Oh.
He's the first.
And they only survived. There are very few bands who
Oh,
survived.
they all died out, and Shina was the only one who was left.
I think that the reason is because they have great songs, great music itself. No matter of
Right.
their
The quality is
yeah.
great.
I see. I think we should actually listen to another song now. Which song should we listen to?
Circus.
Yes, why don't we listen to this? Because we have been talking about Shinawi for a while now. Let's listen to Shinawi's song called Circus.
Yeah.
about rock in Korea. We have the new segment called Rockin' ROK, Rock of Korea, with Jake and Yeom Guitar in the studio right now. So can you tell us about this song we just listened to by Shinawi?
This song Circus is very significant in terms of Shin Daecheol's musical style. Like we mentioned before, Shinawi is known for the first heavy metal band. But as you just listened to the song, Circus is not really heavy metal. It's really melodic.
Right.
It's the influence from 90s alternative rock, grunge rock.
I see.
Shin Daecheol, he has opened himself to new styles of music. I think this is really important. 1990, this song came out in the middle of 90s. And that's the time when Nirvana came out, Pearl Jam, all the great alternative grunge rock bands. Some of them are still playing these days, but grunge music was really, really popular in 90s. But and Shinawi adopted the styles of their times of music. This is really important musical attitude, I think. If you just stick to the old stuff and, don't open up yourself, you're going to just stay there and just sometimes fade away.
That's true.
But
That's very
Shinawi,
true.
yeah, I think one of the reasons why Shinawi is still popular and people like Shinawi's music is that they have their own style, but they keep adjusting to the times. Exactly.
Right, I see. So we are talking about 들국화 and Shinawi today, and we basically summed up 들국화 as being the Beatles of Korea. They did everything except dance music. They did rock, blues, soul, folk. And Shinawi is the original heavy metal rock band here in Korea. And I actually thought they only did heavy metal, but hearing from Yeom Guitar right now, so they did a lot of different kind of genres as well, but without losing their color.
Exactly.
I see. So they were very popular. They were very sensational. Who were actually the stars of these bands? Who do you remember the most?
Shinawi, you mean?
Both.
Both. And 들국화, obviously the vocalist. Shinawi has gone through a lot of great vocalists, but 들국화 has only one vocalist, which is who is Jeon In-kwon.
Right.
Jeon was very charismatic. Nowadays he wears sunglasses all the time. And I think that's the styles of the older people. I don't know. All the members in 들국화, Chang and Choi, they wear sunglasses on stage. And I don't know, these days the rock bands or the bands, they don't wear glasses, sunglasses on stage. They're even, the trends are big, huge, those thick glasses, but it's interesting to see.
It's covering their wrinkles.
Maybe partially that's true.
But they weren't that old when they first came out.
No. But nowadays.
All right. So why did Shinawi go through so many vocalists?
Good question. I gotta call Shin Daecheol and ask him.
Yes,
But,
you should. Because you know him, right?
Yes, I'm actually working with him right now.
Exactly. So you can go ask him and bring it back next week.
I'll talk to him about it.
Then who do you think is the best vocalist that Shinawi had?
Great vocalist in that band. Im was great rock.
Oh,
vocalist.
he's so famous.
Yeah, personally, I like Kim Jong-seo. And not a lot of people know third album, Kim Sung-han. He was great vocalist, but I don't know what happened. He just disappeared.
I mean, he didn't get much attention.
Well, sometimes that happens. I think it's actually very interesting that Seotaeji was also part of this band at one point, because Seotaeji seems a little different. His genre that he is doing right now, it seems very different from Shinawi's music.
Exactly. He was actually bass player for Shinawi, fourth album.
I see.
And he got out of the band and came back as a rapper.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then his rap with rock, different type of music he came up with, and then now I think he's doing like pop rock, power ballad type of deal.
Yeah. But I guess for a lot of musicians out there, they actually have roots in rock.
That's right.
Even Lady Gaga has roots in rock.
yeah.
So.
I never realized.
Oh, really? She was actually most influenced by Queen.
Wow.
That's why she's called
Is that
Lady
true?
Gaga.
Oh, yeah, Queen's got that part of the song, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
even
know.
Fergie from Black Eyed Peas.
Fergie,
Yeah, she said, I have Guns N' Roses influence. Really?
See, because both of you guys are doing rock right now, how would you explain that? Roots in rock, and they do totally different, hip hop, they do dance, electronics. What do you think is the link?
I don't know. I would say it's the rhythm.
Tough.
Rhythm.
It's tough, rhythm. Rock and roll is rhythm. And rock and roll has roots of blues, right? So I think the rhythm is really important. The dance music is rhythm, right?
Maybe
So
the
I think
band as well, having a
The band, sure, that might be true too.
And the spirit?
Spirit is important.
Freedom.
Freedom it is. And I would like to add a little bit about the band members of Shinawi, it's getting out of the band and all that. And what I've heard is Shindacho, he's a really charismatic person who is also a president of our band
Right,
company.
your label.
My label. But I think they all left themselves because
Oh.
Shinami has so much musical attention, and from outside, the companies try to contact all the vocalists.
Oh, I
That's
see.
what I heard. Might not be true. And what's important is Shindacho is not the person who is trying to kick out all the members. So I think.
I'm kind of actually seeing a similarity right now between all these, people coming in and going, but them still being there, having the leader who is a guitarist. I'm thinking Puar
Buhal.
a little bit.
What do
The
you think?
way they arranged the band, because sometimes when a band comes together and one person leaves, they just, disband altogether.
It's kind of like the same thing like Yeom Guitar mentioned. You're the singer of the band, and the band is pretty successful and pretty popular. And all this temptation from other labels, other management. Hey, you're the singer, you're the front man, you're the face of the band, and you're kind of like halfway buried in the band because of the guitar player.
Right.
You can make more money, you can have more attention. Come out and sign, kind of like that. Yeah, I mean that's true. That's what happened.
It does happen.
That happened, and then that's what I heard from Shindecha a long time ago. One other singer, but I'm not going to mention the name, but one other singer, that's what happened to
There you go. It's all coming out.
I see. Well, we actually had our first segment today, and it's getting very interesting. I really can't wait till next week to find out some more secrets behind Korean rock.
It's going to be better.
Exactly. I hope you'll bring some information that we've never heard ever.
That's right.
Anywhere before. And I think we should actually leave this segment with a song by Tulgoka. What do you think?
That sounds very, very good to me.
Which song should we listen to?
We'll listen to Marching by Deulgoka. It's Haengjin in Korean. It's a song that it's the first song that I listened to as a Deulgoka's music. I was in Canada back then, and the only music I listened to was the 90s rock music, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, alternative music.
Right.
But when I first listened to the cassette tape, the first track of the cassette tape, Deulgoka's album, I was shocked.
Oh, with what exactly?
With the sound, the music. I never thought that this would be a Korean music.
Oh.
It just leveled all the North American Western rock music. That's my personal experience. I'd love to share this music with you.
Oh, right. This sounds very good. Let's listen to this song. And with this song, I will be saying goodbye to Yeom and Jake for this week. Thank you for all your information, and I can't wait till next week.
We'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next week. Here is a song by Tulgoka called Haengjin, and I'll be right back.